Hi, Benoit. Great to have you.
Hi, Roman. Great to be here.
So, in your book, Platform Strategy, very good book, by the way, you have a very interesting argument about true platform businesses versus platform-enabled businesses. Can you elaborate on this?
Of course. It's a very important question because it's about definitions.
Right.
And you've got many definitions of platforms to start with. So, let's start there. For us, a platform is an organization that creates value by attracting, matching, and enabling people to transact.
Right.
And it's very different from the traditional organizations where you've got a value chain, you have to buy raw material, you have to transform them, and you sell an end product. So it's more of an ecosystem, it's more open, and that's a new way of creating value. So you see lots of pure platforms creating value like that, eBay, Uber, Airbnb. But increasingly, we see what we call platform-powered ecosystems. So these are businesses that basically combine business models. So if you think of Apple, for example, you need to produce the mobile phone. So you need a value chain, you need raw material, you need to manufacture the phones. But at the same time, the reason why many of us have an Apple in our pockets is because of all the apps that are available. And for the App Store, you need a platform. You need to attract app developers. And it's therefore the combination of the App Store platform with the hardware that is manufactured traditionally that makes Apple a platform-powered ecosystem. And it's the same with many other large firms. Amazon has got a marketplace where it is a platform, so it's attracting people, it's matching them, and it's enabling them to transact. So 96% actually of the inventory on Amazon is offered by the marketplace. So it's not something that Amazon sells itself. It's something that Amazon allows you to buy. And Amazon also has its e-commerce operations, which is a traditional business online, but where it buys things. It used to buy books. That's how they started. And they would sell them online. And they combine the two businesses to be a platform-powered ecosystem.
Right. Do you see more platform-powered ecosystem these days, or pure platform businesses? Like how would you stack them against each other?
So that's interesting. We've seen lots of pure platforms in the early days, and increasingly we see platform-powered ecosystems emerging for various reasons. One is because you see traditional platforms needing to differentiate themselves. So when you need to differentiate yourself, you need to invest in unique attributes, things that are valuable, rare, difficult to imitate. And in some cases, these things are not part of the pure platform. So maybe you need to be very good at logistics, maybe you need to have very good complementary hardware. And therefore, we see businesses trying to develop these capabilities, combine them, and become platform-powered ecosystems. The other thing we see is traditional businesses. And many traditional businesses, they see all these platforms disrupting their markets, and they're thinking about how they can develop a strategy to counter the threats of platforms. And one of the things that we see people doing, many of our clients are thinking that way, for example, is adding a platform capability to their existing business. So if you're a retailer, you've got lots of shops, for example, you don't want to just turn yourself into a platform, but what you can do is add a long tail of products with an online platform to your existing stock, a bit like what Amazon does. You may want to add a platform of complementary services. So, IKEA acquired TaskRabbit, so that lots of students can help you assemble your furniture. So it's a complementary service platform, or you can even add a content platform so that people have videos and content that is relevant and complementary to your products. So they try to add a platform and combine it with their core business.
Yeah, I guess your example with Amazon is like one platform stacked upon another, and very interesting question that I'm sure you asked hundreds of times is how many platforms actually should be out there? Is it like a winner takes all markets? For example, if I'm a Lyft and I see Uber emerges in my market, should I completely forget about doing business in this part of the world, or should I try to differentiate myself in terms of geography, customer segment, and so on?
So that's a great question. And at the heart of platforms, what you find is you find network effects.
Right.
So what is a network effect? It's quite simple. It's every time there is a new participant to your community, everybody else benefits.
Right.
So if you're joining eBay and you're buying and selling clothes, for example, you add value to the platform because you add inventory, you're maybe selling some clothes, and maybe you're buying as well, so you add liquidity because you add demand to the platform.
Right.
And everybody benefits from you joining. And when businesses have got network effects, they tend to be big. Right. Because everybody benefits. So the more people buying and selling things on the platform, the larger the platform. So these businesses, not because they're evil, but by their very nature, tend to become very big. Right. Having said that, what we see is that they tend to be very big, but they become horizontal. So eBay does sell lots of different things, and that gives space for new entrants to come in and compete and target a vertical. So if I was talking about clothing, what you find is that suddenly you find people targeting their platform just for clothing and just say for teenagers, and you see Vinted and you see Depop and you see Farfetch selling brands, and even Zalando is developing platforms. So when you focus on one vertical, one market, you can be differentiated enough to have a focused platform that becomes quite successful. What I would not recommend, though, is just to try to displace Amazon in one go, because they're obviously a very powerful horizontal platform.
Yeah, it's like a big task. My last question to you is that, do you think because of this platform trend is happening, do you think every business should, when they start thinking through the next strategy, or if I'm a startup, like thinking how I go to the market, should platform model be on top of my list?
Yes, is the short answer. Roughly, it is estimated that a third of all revenues will be intermediated by platforms by 2025. And 2025 is tomorrow, and that's a huge part of the economy that is going to be platformized in a way in just a few years. So businesses cannot afford not to develop a platform strategy. Now, that doesn't mean that they need to turn themselves into a platform, but it means that they need to understand what a platform is, how it creates value, what it means for their market, and therefore what it means for them, and what the strategic options available to them are. And these strategic options could be: how do we use platforms? Which platform ecosystem do we join or partner with? Partnership is an interesting theme. Or maybe which platforms do we add to our existing business? So we see a lot of businesses, again, adding complementary product platforms, service platforms, content platforms to an existing business to create these platform-powered ecosystems that we talked about. So yes, absolutely need a platform strategy.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's been very insightful.
Thank you very much, Roman.
Yeah. Check out the book.